keeping the world safe. Mother of God. What is it they want? To feed.
The anticipation around the Great Wall movie has been a fascinating blend of spectacle and cultural conversation, driven by its promise of combining epic action with a rich visual world inspired by one of history's most iconic monuments. When audiences first heard about a major motion picture centered on the legendary structure, many imagined towering walls stretching into misty horizons, colossal battles against unseen enemies, and a story that would weave together human endurance with mythic threats. This film aimed to capture both the imagination and the heart, inviting viewers to step into a story that feels ancient and immediate at the same time. In creating that world, the movie balanced the weight of history with the freedom of fantasy. Storytelling, blending familiar cinematic thrills with its own distinct visual identity. One of the most talked about aspects of the film was its international cast, chosen to bridge cultures and bring depth to the characters who would inhabit this remarkable setting. Leading the cast was a performance by an actor known for his physical presence and thoughtful intensity, whose role demanded both martial skill and emotional nuance. Alongside him, accomplished performers from diverse backgrounds contributed to a sense of global stakes, portraying warriors, strategists, and leaders united by necessity against a common threat. Supporting roles were filled by actors who brought gravitas and complexity to the world, whether in portraying fierce defenders of the wall, seasoned veterans hardened by years of conflict, or enigmatic allies whose loyalty and motives were subject to question. The ensemble worked to ensure that even in a story filled with large-scale action, individual journeys and personal sacrifices remained at the forefront. The story begins with a world under siege, though not just by any ordinary foe. It unfolds in a time when rumors of monstrous creatures began to swirl, creatures whose silent, overwhelming forces threatened entire civilizations. In response, the defenders of the Great Wall, an elite, fiercely skilled order, maintained their vigil, mastering ancient techniques and martial prowess passed down through generations. These warriors, clad in armor that bore the marks of countless battles, stood as the last bastion against an enemy that seemed unstoppable, blending human courage with disciplined teamwork. Their unity and resolve were portrayed as both inspirational and tragic, as they faced losses that tested their faith in victory and in each other. Into this crucible of conflict stepped outsiders, whose arrival was as unexpected as the threat itself. These figures arrived not as conquerors, but as curious wanderers driven by their own quests for meaning and discovery. One among them was particularly compelling, a character whose skeptical humor and worldly perspective initially set him apart from the disciplined ranks of the defenders. Yet, as he witnessed the enormity of the challenge before them, his disbelief gave way to awe, and his reluctance evolved into fierce determination. Through his eyes, the audience experienced the world of the defenders in vivid contrast. A world where myth and reality blurred, and where courage was measured not just in combat, but in the willingness to understand and protect something greater than oneself. The heart of the film's action centered on the clash between the defenders and the relentless enemy, a force that moved with terrifying stealth and overwhelming numbers. These creatures, conceived as terrifying and almost elemental foes, symbolized the raw power of nature and the unknown. Their design emphasized otherworldly strength and agility, making every encounter unpredictable and fraught with peril. The battle sequences were choreographed to highlight not just brute force, but strategy, sacrifice, and the tension between hope and despair. Each clash upon the snow-dusted stones of the wall or the sprawling fields beyond served to elevate the stakes, reminding viewers again and again that this was a fight not just for territory, but for the survival of countless lives, the defenders. Culture and discipline played a central role in the narrative, revealing a society that had long endured hardship and loss, forging a unique identity rooted in solidarity and purpose. Characters within this order grappled with their own doubts and past wounds, adding layers of emotional resonance beneath the surface of the film's grand spectacle. Through quiet moments before dawn, conversations around meager campfires, and Silent reflections atop the towering ramparts. The story explored themes of duty, honor, and the cost of unwavering commitment. These quieter beats were woven seamlessly into the larger tapestry of action, ensuring that the film's emotional core remained intact even amid sequences of breathtaking intensity. Romantic tension, while never overshadowing the central conflict, added subtle texture to the story, illustrating how moments of connection can emerge even in the darkest hours of a struggle. The evolving relationship between key characters underscored how shared danger and mutual respect can spark something profound, even when time is short and stakes are immeasurably high. These interactions were crafted to feel organic, grounded, in mutual admiration forged on the battlefield and tempered by personal vulnerability. Such thematic threads enrich the tapestry of the plot, offering audiences moments to breathe, reflect, and even smile amidst the relentless pace of looming danger. The film's visual design was among its most compelling achievements. The Great Wall itself was rendered not merely as a static backdrop, but as a living, breathing presence, its stones whispering echoes of history and its ramparts basking in sun, storm, and moonlight. The cinematography embraced sweeping vistas and intimate moments alike, using light and shadow to evoke the grandeur and peril of this extraordinary setting. Battles beneath rain-soaked skies, quiet dawn patrols across covered parapets, and tense night sieges under starless heavens all contributed to a visual language that was both poetic and visceral. Every frame was crafted to immerse the viewer, ensuring that the world felt at once familiar and wondrous. Music played an integral role in shaping the emotional landscape of the film. The score blended ancient rhythms with sweeping orchestral crescendos, echoing the rhythms of the clash between mortal resolve and supernatural threat. Themes of longing, courage, and awakening echoed through the compositions, anchoring the narrative in a sonic identity that heightened every turn of the story. From the hush before a battle to the triumphant roars of victory, the soundtrack underscored the pacing of the film, guiding audiences through fear, hope, despair, and elation in equal measure. Behind the scenes, the production was a testament to international collaboration, bringing together filmmakers, designers, and performers from around the world. This fusion of talents contributed to the film's ambition, enabling it to draw from a diverse set of creative voices while maintaining a cohesive vision. The design of costumes, weapons, and settings reflected meticulous attention to detail, merging historical inspiration with imaginative flourishes that served the narrative without overwhelming it. The result was a visual and emotional tapestry that felt both epic in scale and deeply human in its focus. When it came to releasing trailers, the filmmakers were mindful of building intrigue without revealing too much. Early glimpses showcased the beauty and danger of the world, highlighted dramatic confrontations, and teased the presence of the monstrous threat that loomed over every scene. These trailers were crafted to spark curiosity, offering enough to captivate fans of fantasy and action while preserving the surprises that awaited within the full story. The music, visual hints, and carefully chosen moments all worked together to generate buzz and conversation, encouraging audiences to imagine themselves standing on the towering wall as fate unfolded around them. Audience reactions to those teasers and early footage ranged from excitement over the ambitious world-building to thoughtful discussions about the film's themes and character dynamics. Many viewers found themselves drawn to the interplay between spectacle and emotion, appreciating how the story did not rely solely on action but sought to explore deeper questions about identity, belonging, and sacrifice. Fan communities speculated, debated, and shared their hopes for the movie, contributing to a sense that this was more than just another blockbuster. It was a story with the potential to resonate across cultures and experiences. As the release date approached, anticipation continued to build. Conversations shifted from speculation to reflection, with many hopeful that the final film would honor both the visual grandeur suggested in its promotional materials and the emotional depth hinted at in character moments. Viewers looked forward to seeing how the narrative balanced its ambitious concepts with grounded storytelling, how the battles would feel both cinematic and meaningful, and how the relationships forged under pressure would leave lasting impressions. In the end, the Great Wall movie stood as a bold cinematic endeavor that invited audiences to step beyond the familiar and encounter a world where courage must be measured against overwhelming odds, where unity becomes a force as powerful as any blade or strategy, and where the human spirit stands resolute in the face of ancient terrors. It reminded viewers that epic stories are not just about scale, but about the people who live within them, whose choices and sacrifices define the legacy of every age. Through its cast, its world, and its emotional through lines, the film carved its own place in the landscape of modern fantasy cine.